Hello folks, welcome back to another stream. No streams the past 2 days, I can only apologise for that. On whatever day it was, on Monday, I had a really bad sleep and I was too tired. I was like, you know what, sorry, I'm going to do the work, but I'm not going to stream it. And then yesterday I had a massive headache, so no stream, but I did the work. So I will show you guys in a sec what I've been up to. But how are you all doing? Are you well? I hope you're doing good. It's felt weird not streaming the past couple of days for doing it like 8 days in a row, 7 days in a row, something like that. So let me show you what we've been up to. So it's November, as you know. Today is the start of the third category. We've had food, we've had textures. Today we're starting with time, which means today's theme is prehistoric, and I'm looking forward to doing that. But before that, I'm going to show you what we went over yesterday and the day before. So for day 9, it was fluffy. So I made a Christmas hat, which I should have got open for you so you can see it. Let me quickly find that for you now. Let me quickly find what I actually did so that you can see what I did. Otherwise, I'm just telling you about stuff. You're like, that's nice, it sounds nice, but can we see it? And the answer is no. Where is it? I've lost the bugger. Chop tomate projects. There it is. Okay, November, and then we want to look for fluffy. Okay, so for fluffy, we made this. Made a Santa hat. Because what's fluffier than a Santa hat? I'm feeling Christmassy. I want it to be Christmas right now, so I made a Santa hat. Nice and simple. Turned out better than I expected. It's still not great, but it turned out better than I expected. And then for yesterday, which was day 10, it was meant to be paint. Now, like I said, I had a screaming headache last night, so I just went simple. I just went with paint pots. Just paint pots full of paint. Nothing super fancy to it. Just, it is what it is. Does what it says in the tin, if you'll pardon the pun. So yeah, that was good. It was good fun. But today is prehistoric, as I say. So today, I'm thinking what we do is we will go for... Wait, new category, prehistoric. There we go. I figured we'd go for like the hand painting thing, these hand caves. They look pretty cool. They're fairly straightforward, so they should be able to do in the 2-hour period. So if I make like a nice, like a rocky wall that we can put stuff onto, and then we'll make the hand spray stencils, make a few variants, and then scatter them around. That should be pretty fun to do, hopefully. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, see what happens. It's weird to get back into it. I've not done it for a little bit now. So let's jump on. Oh wait, first got to set the timer. Got to reset that timer because it's currently set to 1 hour 43, and I need 2 hours. So I'm resetting it. Boom. There we go. 2 hours starting now. Hopefully everything's working okay. You can hear me okay and everything. I've had Windows update issues again, so I'm hoping if not, screwed me over once more. Because quite frankly, I'm sick of Windows 10 screwing me over when it says we've updated everything, and you start your computer and it goes, hey, let's finish that update. It's like, you said you'd finished. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to make like a rough, rocky background. These pictures aren't the best reference. This one's pretty good. So I think we're going to go for this kind of, maybe this kind of roughness with some stuff going on. So let's just do it really, really rough and dirty today. Let's not get too specific about stuff. So I'm going to go with a clouds 1, I think. If I use a directional warp, I can feed that into itself and get some nice different shapes going on there. Boom, and then that looks pretty cool. That gives us the similar kind of texture to what I'm after. And then if we blur that out a little bit, that'll give us slightly rounder shapes to it. Not that much, obviously. Just a smidge, just a little bit. You don't want to go crazy with it. Alright, so let's see how that looks now. Already, that's looking okay. We're heading in the right direction. That's the kind of thing I was after. So that's always a good start, isn't it? When something heads at least in the direction you're trying to go to. So let me see. Okay. As a base, that's alright. Let's knock it down a bit though. It's a bit strong. So let's go to levels and we'll reduce the white levels on this to make it not so white. We've got to connect it so I can see what's going on. They would reduce that right down. If you wanted to, you could say that's already a usable cave wall. But we're going to add some variance, add a little bit of difference to it. Just because, you know, if it doesn't work, we just simply undo. It's that easy. If it doesn't work, we just delete stuff. I think it's probably the best bet at doing stuff, isn't it? So let's see. We'll go with a black and white spots, and we'll give it a cheeky number 3, I think. Because I want sort of globs of colour, so if I feed this to histogram scan, so I can select bits, but first I'm going to go back to my spots. I'm going to go to roughness and I'm going to adjust it. Something like that, just to give it a bit more. Did I put it right back in the middle? No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, just to give it a bit more white to it. And then we can contrast this out. Grab just those bits. And then I'm going to feed them into a non-uniform blur so that they can give themselves like a little bit of a gradient. Fancy. Okay, so let's zoom in so we can see what we're doing. And we just want to give it the teeniest. Boop. Increase the samples, increase the blades. That increases the quality. It's really small, so the quality is not going to be great anyway. But yeah, if we just give that a little, just a little nudge, that'll give it some kind of volume. You know, nothing perfect, nothing spectacular, but enough to keep it going. Right, so, and then we can also feed that into a directional blob. Actually, shall we do that? I think do that before we blur it. That'll make a lot more sense. Otherwise, you're just pushing the blur out the way, aren't you? And that'd be stupid. Right, so we'll give it direction, give it an intensity. No, I don't like that actually. For direction, we're going to give it something else. Let's give it a directional noise, but on its side, just to be fancy. Just to be fancy. We're going with number 4. Number 4 is the big soft one. I'm going to keep it on its side like that. Just change the random seed, because I want to keep it on its side because I don't want it to push it really strong in a direction. I want it to kind of just nudge it. If that makes sense, I don't know what I'm saying. I know what I mean in my head. See, so like rather than like if this was angled, then this would be, you know, it would have smaller effect areas. Set this to 50 so you can see what's going on. Yes, it follows the shape more like that, but I want it to sort of shimmy, you know. Maybe change it that way a bit. Well, okay, that looks alright. And then we've got that into our non-directional blur so we can get some shadow action going on. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, let's blend these together. So I'm going to put that there, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to multiply it. I'm going to multiply it, or am I going to max line it? I'm going to min darken it. I'm going to invert it and min darken it. Because that's how I roll, people. That's how I, gosh dang well, roll. Yeah, okay, so here we go. So this will give us our little pits that we want. So it's subtle there, but you've got, so you've got like different bits that have been kind of broken away. And obviously they're not right now because they're completely jet black, which we don't want. So for this case, we are going to reduce the strength of that. It's looking okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And then what we can do is we can feed that whole thing into a slope blur grayscale. Actually, shall I feed this into slope blur? Let's find out. Slope. Sometimes you've got to experiment because I don't know about you guys, but I have this idea in my head and I'll go to do it. It doesn't always go that way. But sometimes if I sort of head down that path a little bit with an experiment, it then kind of materializes into the real thing that I want it to do. If that makes sense. It's like it fills the gap that I was trying to think of. Okay, so I want to slope blur this, and I'm going to use. No, I don't think we've used the dirt during this stream, have we? Dirt's a nice one. Look at it. It's just dirty, filthy. I've not watched Black Books for ages. I love that show. Right, minimize. Max samples, lower the intensity. Remember, this will only affect the inward shapes because we're set to min. That gives like a cool kind of craggy look, doesn't it? It's pretty funky. It's like a stepped kind of chip. So let's just, I'm going to reduce the blur on the original image because it's too strong. Even though it's a tiny bit, it's too strong. It looks too soft. I don't like that. I don't Oh, we don't like that. We don't like that one bit. Alright, let's change that back to there, and then we're gonna multiply a little noise on top of that, because I don't like how ugh it is. Although, are we gonna do a noise to everything? Let's just try putting the noise on everything first. Yeah, I feel like it needs something granular. So I'm gonna get a fractal sun base. I like this playlist. I know I put it on every time, but it's safe to stream with, and it's just a fun little background playlist. There's no lyrics or anything, so it doesn't get distracting. It's just nice. And who doesn't like a little bit of synthwave? This feels more like just general like city pop almost, but still I like it. I like city pop too, so that's fine. I blame Chris Broad from that for that one. Okay, so something like that works well, I think. So if we multiply this on top of this, we get it affecting it all the way through, which is what we want. Obviously it's like duper strong, we don't want it that bad, but if we gradually start introducing it, it'll just bring a little bit of life to it. Make it a bit more porous, make it a bit more rock-like, and that's what we want. There you go, and once we start getting the roughness variations and stuff in there, it should be good. Yeah, I still don't like what's going on over here. I think maybe this is too extreme. That's just that standard, that's just clouds. Which actually looks kind of nice, to be honest. It's kind of what we want. Just give it a little bit directional. Oh, I forgot this bloody thing we set it to 1, isn't it? It's so annoying. I wish it would leave it at whatever it was that I set it to, and then I can slide between it. Okay, something like that looks okay. So let's leave it at that for now. So we're 10 minutes down. We've got, if we need, a base done. So let's not linger on this for too long, because we don't want to mess about for ages. Actually, we forgot to set up the actual material as well, didn't we? So got to set it to tessellation so you can see depth. Set it to like 5. 5 should be alright, I guess. You know, I might just work. I'm probably just going to work in parallax today, because you folks don't need to see physical shapes popping out for this one, because it's just paint really, so it's on top of it. So yeah, we'll stick with parallax and we'll set the scale to 5, which we already have. Cool. Okay, so we've got our basic wall in the background. Let's attempt to make a hand, shall we? Because then this is going to be the hardest bit, and then once we've got this we can move on. But I figured we'll get the hardest bits out of the way, and then we can go back in and refine stuff later. Rather than trying to rush all at the end, we want to do what we can early on to minimise the effort later. Always a good plan. So save that, always save. I've run out of coffee, awesome. Time for water. That's a good mizu. So I'm looking forward to getting the PS5 next week, everybody. You excited? It's PS5 day tomorrow for the folks in America. I'm super happy for them. I can't wait to see people's reactions to getting them, because I love the feeling of seeing people just ecstatically happy about stuff. And the new console generation, it's a special time. It really is. It's kind of like when people have memories of like bookmarks of their lives or their era. For me, it's like console releases of major events. Right, what we're doing, hands. Okay, shape. Let's make a hand. Let's make a hand. This is not going to be a good hand, just warning you right now. But let's do it. So, and we just need to be a flat hand as well, because it's a stencil. We don't need to have shape to it. Excuse me. So, the shape we're going to start with is a cylinder. No, we're going to start with a square. We're going to stick with what we've got. Scale it down. Scale it in. You know what? We're actually going to do this first. There's going to be a lot of these, by the way, to make this shape, so get ready. Because we're going to do shapes a lot, and we're going to do transforms a lot, and then we're going to blend them together a lot. But it'll be worth it, you'll see. Let's transform this. So yeah, this would be the wrist. I'm aiming mainly at this hand at the moment. So this would be the wrist part of it. And then we're going to shape the sort of the palm part. And then we'll do the fingers and thumb shortly thereafter. But first, let's get ourselves a trapezoid transform. That is not what I clicked. Trapezoid. Come on, trap. By the way, you know the issue that I normally have between this mouse being different to my work mouse? I've just got a new work mouse, so now it's different. Again, like more different. I almost said differenter then. And my brain was like, don't say differenter, you idiot. It's not differenter, is it? It's more differentiated. Right, so that's pulled down a bit. No tiling on that bad boy. I'm going to add these together so you can see what they're doing. So this is going to be the palm. Just got to remember to turn tile enough. I always forget. Okay, same again. We're going to get a trapezoid transform grayscale on there. Oh man, I made a really tasty tea tonight. It was from HelloFresh and it was a chicken katsu burgers. Deep fried the chicken myself. It was really nice, but it was so filling, and I'm so sleepy now. I always find that happens. If I have like a nice big meal, I get a bit sleepy. So forgive me if I get yawny and whatnot. Plus, if you want proof that I love you guys, I've got a brand new Yakuza game downstairs waiting for me to play. I'm not playing it right now. What the hell, man? I'm not playing it because I'm here with you saps. So, enjoy. Okay. I just realised I don't want that to be the way it is there. The shape, the top shape I mean. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to get a directional warp. Is it directional warp I want? Let me see. Shape. I got myself a trapezoid. No, a paraboloid. Paraboloid. Whatever the word is. Gonna get a transform in there. We're gonna shrink it down. I'm gonna put it in the middle. Change the tiler on that so it doesn't affect everything. See, that's the problem here, is that it's gonna affect both sides because of the shape of it. So what we can do to counter that, let me see, this is an awkward one. Okay, if we got something like that, something along those lines, then we can mirror this result. We get that kind of like chubby palm look, and then we can always cut out of that, but that's what we can have for now. Right, what time? An hour 43 left, folks. 1 hour 43. So we need to transform on that again just to shrink it back down because it's too big right now. Okay, and now we can look at adding fingers and thumbs and whatnot. Like I said, this is not going to be perfect. It's going to be far from it, but we're having fun, and that's what matters. But let me just try something a second. This is just a test. It's probably not going to work, but it's always worth a test, isn't it? Oh, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Glare. Nope. Glare. Can you imagine if D's were B's? That'd be so annoying. You see, if you blur something and use a histogram scan, it's a good way of rounding shapes off. So something like that might actually work. Just put more contrast on it so it's a solid shape. So we go from that to that, which is a bit more meaty, isn't it? A bit more palmy. And then we can shrink that back down again if we want to, but to be honest I quite like the size of that, so let's move this back over here so we've got some space to play with. Voice clock. Alright, thank you. Just a sec, folks. Just a second. Okay, is that better now? Hopefully that sounds a bit clearer. We'll find out in a sec, folks. Yeah, my mic's been... Again, it's a Windows 10 issue. It messes with the driver. It's so annoying. Damn you, Windows. Hey, thumbs up. That's good. That's good. Although I've just noticed that my microphone cable is buggered. And if I touch it at all, I completely lose sound in one ear or both ears, so I'm going to have to get a new cable for this. But the good news is it's a fully detachable cable, so it's a lot cheaper to get new headphones. So that's good. I'll have a look on the old interwebs and get one of them later on, because it's one of those fancy ones with like a 90-degree angle on one end and a straight at the other end, so it doesn't get caught, ironically, but it seems to have been caught at some point. So great. Right, fingers. I'm all fingers, me. Or is it I'm all thumbs? That makes more sense. If you're all fingers, you could hold stuff really well. People who drop stuff all the time, they're like, I'm all thumbs. Oh, butterfingers. I love butterfingers. I had them for the first time, like, fairly recently. I say fairly recently, it would have been like 6 years ago now, but I mean, like, as an adult. And it was in B&M, St. Helens of all places. It's the first place I had a butterfinger, I think. They're good, I like them. Interesting things. Right, you know, we're going to change the shape. We don't want a square. We want a... We don't quite want a disc. I think we want a capsule for this one. We're going to rotate it. I'm going to give them little sausage fingers. Actually, yeah, we've pretty much got a finger sorted, haven't we? So let's give a histogram scan on this bad boy so it's all shaped out. That's the shape that we want. Nobody better lay a fingers on my butterfinger. Nobody better lay a finger on my butterfingers. Do. Silly Stewie. Right, let's blend these in. I wonder if we can do something fancy with this. I wonder, will this work? Will this work? I'm going to try and spread the fingers out by using one thing. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we've got a chance of this working? Let's see what happens. So input the image. We want it to, we want 4. I don't know why I looked at my reference. I know how many fingers on a human hand. And then if we go down to, is it radius? No, it's spread. Yeah, spread. Hey, look at that. It's actually working. And then we can just rotate it as a whole. So is that down here? Or do I have to rotate it? No, there it is. No, wait. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I could do that. Awesome. I can't rotate the P. Oh man, I could have done with that the other day. I was looking for that specific thing the other day. Okay, anyway, ring rotation. Right, now we want the spread to be less. We want the scale to be full. This is turning out okay, actually. Right, so that spread-wise looks alright. We can always do a transform to make it a bigger scale. Hey, look at those dumb little fingers. I got little stumpy fingers. I used to got 7 fingers, but now I only got 5. My mother was a gator. Do you reckon there's ever been a talking alligator? I wouldn't trust one. If I ever met an alligator that could talk, I'd be like, nah, this isn't for me. What I'm hearing right now is not for me. Alright, let's get a bit of sassy action going on here. I've got an idea. I want to fatten out the top of this, so if I plug this into here, plug that into there, then give that a transform. Rotate that bish. Should be able to get a little bit of action going on up top. No, apparently not. Why? That's interesting. Alright, fair enough. Well, let's just add shapes to shapes. That always works. So let's get ourselves another shape. This time I'm going to add a disc. And then I'm going to get a transform. I keep thinking somebody's spoken chat whenever my my parameters move on my screen, because it moves like chat when I change between stuff. Okay, turn the talent off. Hey mate, you alright? I am making prehistoric hand art because today's prompt is prehistoric. We're now in the time periods on November. Let me put this in here for you. Yeah, so we've done food, we've done textures, now we're on time. So prehistoric is today's. Yeah, so I'm basically making, oh I've lost it. I'm basically making this hand at the moment. Or trying to. And we've made like a rocky background to put them on. So it's fun so far. It was chat it. What? Oh, it was chat. I guess it was eventually. Anyway, yeah. What was I doing now? Jack's confused me with this weird comment. Oh yeah, I want to set this to add. Otherwise I can't see what it's doing, can I? Nice! It is nice, thank you. Very, very much. Yeah, so I want to give a little chubby, meaty top bit to the palm. Something like that. And then if I feed that into there, that gets chubbified like that, and then it gets mirrored. There we go. But I don't want it to be so damn tall. Didn't know handout was a thing. Yeah, it's prehistoric. It's from way back when. These are the earliest forms of artwork, as far as I know. The earliest form of human representation in artwork. They just got some dyes, like some dye powder that they must have found from like rocks or whatever, and just lobbed it. I'm assuming. But I noticed before somebody had done one to like an emu or something. Have we got it on here? No, there was one where the footprint, it was like a footprint of a bird rather than a human. That was kind of cool. This looks like a piece of toast right now. We're not going for toast, we're going for hands. Right, let's get old sausage fingers sorted out, shall we? Hey, saucy! Saucy fingers! Oh yeah, thank you. Hey, look at that, smart lad. Thank you very much. See, I can't be trusted with buttons. I've got so many buttons that do stuff. I shouldn't be allowed near them. But alas, I am. Okay, I'm going to change the shape of this. Make it taller. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Now, the problem I had with this splatter thing is that fingers are all different sizes, aren't they? Oh, you didn't think of that, you didn't. So, we can scale this size individually, but it's random. Oh wait, scale by pattern number. We don't want that though, do we? Because that's not how they scale. Awkwardly. Human fingers are so awkward. Right, instead of using the splatter, I was quite happy that that worked, but instead of doing that, we're going to do it manually, one at a time. Ugh, boring. Alright. So, let's add them manually. I'm not trying to give anyone the finger, by the way. Right, first one. Going to plug this in here, and this is going to be our little pinky. It's a little pinky. Turn off the tiling so we don't get repeated pinkies. Rotate, look at that fancy boy. Oh, it's so fancy. Okay, there's a pink. Now we get the other ones. Actually, I'm going to use the pinkies as a starting point. Wait, no I'm not. I lied to you just now, how rude. Okay, another blend. It's always interesting trying to make shapes like this because it just doesn't work in your head until you start to sort of play with it and go, oh yeah, that's how that does that. But it's nice, it's relaxing, not that much, it's just having a chill and you know, just playing with stuff, see what happens, it's fun. Ow, my knee. Did a Craig. Right, I want to also subtract a bit of the hand, but I'm going to put all the fingers in place first, then just go back and subtract a bit out where the thumb connects. I want to make this scoop. So how's everyone doing tonight anyway? You all good? You all well? You all been enjoying your tea and your video games? You youth of today, with your pasta bakes and your video games. Back in my day we had to catch fish and eat it ourselves. The chair is treating me very well, thank you. I'm not using it right now because I'm on my computer. But I got to use it for a whole half an hour before. It's magical. Good old sausage fingers. We're going to add some warp to them as well soon, don't worry. I'm looking forward to finishing though because I've got the new Yakuza game to play and I am looking forward to playing the hell out of that for a whole hour before bed. It is not your chair, lady. Not your chair at all. And it's definitely not the cat's chair. He's going to try and claim it, but it's definitely not his. He's not allowed on it. He knows the rules. He breaks them and gets out. That's the rules. Does it spin? Of course it spins. You stole my chair, ergo I steal your chair. Don't use words like ergo and feel fancy. You ain't fancy, woman. You just think you're fancy. Ergo, I succeed my point. Okay, thumb time, folks. Now, it's going to look weird because we're just positioning in the right place. Then we'll adjust the shapes afterwards, okay? This is all just about placement right now. So I'm going to go try and cut the bit out that I don't want. This looks like a blown up glove. You know, you get like a plastic glove and you blow it up. Looks like that. Ergo is only 4 letters, therefore it's not big and fancy. Alright, you've got me there. That is a terrible joke, Jack. Probably the worst I've heard in a while. But bravo for trying. God loves a tryer. Alright, so I want to make the shape to cut out from the palm. The question is, how do I go about doing that? It's a weird shape. I think I know. Move this, and we're going to get another blend. We're going to make another shape, and it's not a sharpen every dang time. Shape. I'm in love with the shape of you. Yeah, consequently, like therefore. You did this, therefore your consequence is this. As I do this. Ergo, vis-a-vis that. What are we on about, folks? We're talking nonsense now. Absolute nonsense. Right. Anyway, I was doing a disc. Disc is the shape that we want. And then if I get a transform on this, and then we subtract it from here, turn the tiling off, and that way we can move it wherever we want, and it won't mess with everything else. And then we just shrink that bad boy down, position it where we want it to take effect. I want something along those lines. So let's see if that lines up with the thumb, because that's what we want. It's not a gajillion miles off. Let's fix that finger, this one. Ball sausage finger. Okay, now let's extend the shape up a bit. Looks a bit weird, that. I'm not gonna lie. You gotta try and look clever for her. It's a good idea. Oh god, yeah, don't use the thesaurus, for God's sake. Gotta confuse everyone. Speaking of prehistoric, you introduce the thesaurus. The smartest of the dinosaurs. Ow. Right now, I've done that, but I actually want to introduce a bit of shape back at the bottom. So if I pull this up, this should help. There we go, we're getting somewhere now. Like I said, far from perfect, but you know, we're not going for perfect. We never do. We go for fun. Again, move this finger over a bit. For some reason, it's just sitting there, all snug and does no personal space. Move along. Wait, not you. Finger 2. Bit longer. Okay, folks, it's not perfect, but we've got a hand. Now we're going to warp the fingers a little bit so that they're not completely perfect. I mean, they're far from perfect, but you know what I'm saying. And in particular, I'm going to try and give the thumb a bit of a kink in the middle. So we're going to use a directional warp again. Set it to that direction. Give it a gradient. Loose the Moose 95 is watching. The one, the only. I hear a wifey. So how you guys been enjoying playing Overwatch? You getting used to it now? It's a great game, really is. I'm going to move this. That is one broken ass thumb, isn't it? Jeez. What happened here then? That's what people are going to say when they see that thumb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it. There's so many transform nodes in this today. thinks she's obsessed. Good. She should be obsessed. It's obsession worthy as a game. Just ask Charlie. Right, I want to thin out the thumb a little bit in this direction. That was a bad idea. Right, okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to add a little bit of warp to the fingers. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Aloe vera. It's aloe vera juice with real aloe pieces. Oh my god, real aloe pieces. When did we get this fancy? I have no idea where this came from, by the way. They were just in the house the other day. Want to play Fall Guys? You can do, I guess. Can't open it. Well, that's for later. My hands are so sore from before. Right, okay, so we're going to warp these fingers off. Not warp them off. We're going to warp, you know what I mean. Mum said them. Ah, okay, fair enough. Oh yeah, we can add some warp to this, just this finger first, and that might actually help with the rest. Let's add a purling noise. No, I don't need you to be big and strong, thank you. I'll do it myself later. I'm just resting. I'm recouping my strength. I've got my slave doing it. Fine. Thank you. See, I got sore hands. That's my excuse. I'm sticking with it. I've got sore hands. She fixed it. Oh God, look at those nasty fingers. Oh, it's bulbous. They're bulbous. Right, let's fix this. Look at the fat ends on it. That's great. There we go. I just wanted some non-perfect lines in there. Alright, so yeah, far from perfect. This is PG. Okay. I love a bit of aloe vera juice. If you've never had it, I recommend having it. It's really nice. It's refreshing. It's probably not too bad for you. It's probably full of sugar saying that. Let me see. It's rich in vitamin C, which helps reduce fatigue and tiredness. Perfect, actually. I'm pretty sleepy, so it's good. Sugar. 19 calories per 100 ml. Alright, fair enough. No sugars. Oh wait, carbohydrates of which sugars? 4.7 grams. That's not too bad. It ain't too bad. Right, anyway. Less talk of sugar, more talk of hands and such. So yeah, obviously the palm is cutting into the fingers the way it shouldn't do, but we're not bothered right now by that, I think. I don't think so anyway. I have interest. What happens if I blur? If I blur this out a bit, I know I keep blurring stuff, but I'm just going to try. Blur, histogram scan. This is the trick that I used before to get the rounder edges. Ooh. Yeah, we'll go with that. There we go. That was the plan all along. That was my cunning plan. Okay, so now I'm going to reorganize this a bit. We've still got an hour 18. That should be enough time to get this looking okay. And that's what we're aiming for today. Okie dokie, so that's there. That is there. Haven't played Fall Guys since we played with you, so I'm expecting good things. Yeah, I've not played Fall Guys in so long. It's a good game. It doesn't grab me for very long, I find. But that's because I get bored of that kind of game pretty quickly. I'm not a massive party game fan. But you know, they're fun. When I'm playing them, they are fun. Yeah, I'm more of a first-person shooter individual. Give me a good RPG or a first-person shooter. and I'm happy. So that's why at the moment I'm currently into playing Warzone, and I'm currently into playing the Yakuza 7, which is an RPG. Weirdly, they've made it an RPG and it's meant to be mental. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to playing it after the stream. In the face. Big hands in the face. Alright, so let's work this into the stencil kind of look that they've got going on. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the background. Like the background kind of shape that they're doing. For that we're going to use a... what am I going to use? Black and white spots. Let's go black and white spots. Go for a tour. Cheeky little tour. Try that. And then we're going to blend. We're going to actually mask this out, so let's do that. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to create a shape that'll mask that a bit. So, what can I do for this? I could grab a Clouds 2. It's got bigger white shapes in it. That's what we're after. If I use that as the opacity for this, actually do this instead. Instead of using opacity, I'm going to subtract it. Okay, that's not what I had in mind. Want to become famous by followers, blah 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 blah. Thank you, spam. I'll take it from here, cheers, love. Ban. Bye bye. Alright, so what was I doing? Shape. Yes, I want to get a power blade, I think. As my start, I'm gonna just adjust it. Actually, I'll just use the size here. And then if I get a slope blur on that, feed the clouds into that, set it to min so it cuts into it like we did before, set the samples to full and change the intensity. That'll just nibble away at the sides of it, nibble, nibble. And then if I use a histogram scan on that, that should sharpen my edges up to give me a sort of a jagged shape. See? And then I can use a directional warp on that if I wanted to make it more jagged, but I just want to use this for now. See, that looks pretty cool. I want the inverse of that. Ow. So, yeah, let me see. Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty funky indeed. Let's make this more extreme so that it looks more extreme on there. Okay, we're getting there. See, we're getting this kind of like looser edge going on. That's good. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Let's make the intensity of this a bit different with some levels. What a jam this is, eh? We still want to keep quite a bit of white in there because there are solid chunks, but we also want it to be kind of spread out a bit like that. So I quite like the way that's going. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. I think we can call that the first one, and then we'll make variants of this. Do you reckon that looks okay? I think that's a good idea. So let's do that. That's number one. Now, variants of this. Let's see. Directional warp. I'm actually going to duplicate that because I want to experiment. Rather than just stick with the same thing. We don't need to do that today. We can experiment. Get a bit fancy. So, get this. First of all, I'm going to change the random seeds on these so that they're not exactly the same thing and then adjusted. So that way, even though these two are all using the same settings and everything apart from the random seed, you'll see we've got two completely different things. So that's good. That's what we want. So what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to change the scale of this, I think, see how that affects it. So that changes the shape overall. And this one, yep, and then disorder, wind that up a little bit. It's looking pretty funky. And then we can feed that into a directional warp, which is going to push out the thing, so I might have to scale everything. I might have to scale this down so that it still fits within the frame. Actually, a smaller one's a good idea as well. But yeah, directional warp. And then let's go with, I want something that's got a lot of variant heights in it. So we'll go for a directional noise for, just like earlier on. This time we are going to use it straight up like that. And give it like an intensity of like, I don't know, 50. That way we get more like jaggedness going on. I actually just want it to affect the mask. I don't want it to affect the bits on top. So if I do that and then feed that into there. There we go. So I get the shape I want, but I don't ruin the bits in the middle. So now it's quite a different shape to that one. That one's quite oval. That one's more jagged. So I quite like that. So that's variety number 2. Okay, we're getting somewhere, folks. We're getting somewhere. Look at that. We've got quite a network, but it's not crazy. It's not like an insane network. It's just a bit of a network. Let's move everything over here so it's out of the way a bit. This is our base rock. Or bedrock, if you will. An hour 11 left, folks. 1, 1, 1. Man, this aloe vera is tasty. I like a drink with chunks. It's weird at first when you very, very first have it. Like, oh, there's chunks in this, but it's nice. Have you guys ever heard of thicket? I don't know what it'd be called in England, but it's like it's thick water. And I saw it on Unis Annus a few months ago. They were making any drinks thicker. But I saw before that Matt Stoney did a chugging challenge of this thicket stuff. It was 2 litres of it. And the challenge, I think the time that he had to beat was like 3 minutes or something. And he just necked it. I think it was like 18 seconds. I don't know how he does that stuff. It's fascinating to me, people who can do stuff like that. It's just truly alien. But I like it, I appreciate it. It's a craft unto itself. Or unto itself. 'Tis a craft unto itself. Ergo, I am jealous. There, Jack, another use of ergo for you. Are you educated yet? Alright, we're going to spice up the angle a bit. Go bottom left. Ooh. So we're already getting a different shape to that one. But this time I want to give it a little bit of spice. Oh, this one's much bittier at the edge. So 3 quite distinctly different shapes going on there, and I like that. So let's use them as our foundation. We can always add more later if we want to. But let's use them as our foundation. So for now, we've got the base rock, right? Which we're gonna colour it because the hands have only got like colour information. They might have some roughness variation as well, but for now it's just colour. So we don't need to add them into height. So let's give some colour for the rock. I think that's the smart first position. Ooh, itchy neck. Excuse me. I was to itch my neck. Boom. Okay, uniform colour 1, uniform cooler 2. Gonna go for a lighter colour this time. I'm just sampling the colours from the rock, so it's at least a good starting point. And then I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to use a. Actually, I might use a black and white noise for this. I've used that a lot recently, but I think it works well for this kind of stuff. See that kind of like that rocky look to it. So I can do that. And see, we've got like, we're already starting to get our cave wall going on. I'm not liking the roughness in this. I've just decided I might adjust that in a bit. In fact, I'm going to go adjust that now. That's from this fractal sunbase. I set the max level too high. That looks a bit better. Yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Alright, and let me just check my ambient occlusion. It doesn't seem to be doing much right now. Oh, it's set really low. Okay, that makes sense. It's because I was doing paint pots yesterday. Because I usually start a scene by copying the last one that I did. When I'm doing this November stuff. Usually I'll start with a like a blank starter scene that I've got set up already. So I've got the outputs that I want to use and a couple of little nodes that I like to use in here as well. But yeah, for November I just saved my last one again. So that looks okay. We're close to having our bedrock thing there. We'll sort roughness and stuff out afterwards. Normally I do height and then roughness and then the base colour, but this time with the base colour being so important with the hands and stuff, I'm going to go straight to that, I think. So let's get ourselves... Oh wait, I haven't actually took the hand bins out of these yet. That's step one, isn't it? Eat it! I need it. Okay, so move these up down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to blend. This should be fairly simple what we do here. I'm going to get this, put it in the bottom part. I'm going to go transform and plug the hand in there. Plug it in there and then go subtract. Boom. Shouldn't be too hard. This reminds me of Death Stranding, if anybody's played that. If you haven't played Death Stranding, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's a bit of a slow burner, just so you know. Like, you'll be playing it for a bit before major stuff happens, but it's such a good game. I absolutely love that game. Okay, there's one. Oops, wrong one. I did it wrong again. An hour 6 left, folks. We're almost halfway there. I think we're doing okay. We're doing alright for time, I think, today. Well, famous last words. God, I love that Hello Viewer. Why don't I get that stuff more often? To be fair, it's not normally just knocking around, is it? There's a shop by ours that sells it, but it's not a shop we go in very often. What was I doing? I've done that, okay. So I want to transform again to get my hand. I would do like a flipped variant, but I'm going to do that in the actual thing that spreads them around in a minute, so there's no point doing it now. Okay, subtract that again. Do that. So we've got this one. We've got this one. I feel like it feels like the Left 4 Dead front cover, if you've ever seen that. It's like a... It's a zombie hand with a 4 like that. And I think the moon's behind it or something. Might be what's reminding me of this. Oh, this is a good one. I love that thump of synthwave. It's great. Something I want to make more of. I really enjoy making music recently, and I want to make more synthwave stuff. It's just, it's quite difficult to make it on an iPad. At least I find it difficult anyway. It's probably easier. I'm just a bit thick. Okay, so I think that could be variant 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm happy with them. I think they're going to be alright. So let's see. Save. Always save. Oh, I've got the hiccups now. Between Viva and the katsu burgers that I made, I'm full of hiccups. And part of that splooshed right at my face. Excuse me, sorry if I got a bit mucky just now. Yeah. I dribbled. Right, okay, so anyway, tile sampler. Even though we're doing colour, I'm still going to do the grayscale one just because we're doing like everything's grayscale right now. So if I do this, I should be able to adjust it afterwards. Well, thinking about it, I might actually do a colour one. I never use the colour tile sampler, so let's just have an experiment. Tile sampler, colour. Did I just choose grayscale again? Yeah. Normally you have to specify grayscale, but with this being a grayscale tool, you have to specify colour. So, okay, let's give these colour now then. So, I could use gradient nodes to colour these, but I'm going to use uniform colour instead with a blend node because I like to do that. I mean, I need to add a gradient anyway to make them work, but still, I'm awkward. No, yeah, we should just use gradients. And this way I can just pick my colours as well. Pick gradient. Oh, see, that's the problem though. We don't want to do that because we don't want to affect the color of the black part. So yeah, instead I'm just gonna go into my editor. I'm just gonna change the white. Yeah, that's better. So pick the color that I want. So for this one, we're gonna pick that kind of color there. We're just gonna be really rough. We're gonna be really rough with this, and then we're gonna put it in the right place. Once it's in place, then we can look at the colors properly. But until it's on the rock, we won't really know for sure what it's gonna look like. Alright, so this time we're going to go for one of the other colours, which is all white. They did brown, white and black, so let's go for the white one. Pick that. Obviously it's not white, which is good. We don't want it to be white because that wouldn't be particularly natural unless they found like chalk nearby. Okay, so pattern input, make it 3. Pattern input 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm going to feed you into there. I'm going to feed you into there. And we're going to feed you to the fishes. Look at those little teeny hands. Going, ah yeah, I can see you. Right, let's give them, that's 16 by 16 is too much. Go for 6 by 6. That's still too small. 4 by 4. Okay, 4 by 4. We might actually want more than that, but I'll do more than one. Okay, so we want to flip some of them. So set the symmetry random up. Oh, only horizontally though. There you go. So now some of them are left, some of them are right. They seem fairly uniform for random. Come on, be nice. I said random, gosh dang it. Okay, I guess that'll do. And rotation random, we just want to add a little bit of rotation to it, not loads. Because if you imagine this is a group of people all doing this together, they're all stood in the same kind of locations, putting their hands up, and you can't like fully rotate your hand around and do what they're doing. So you only want it a little bit, so like you're somebody who stood next to somebody else is doing it. So you know, just a little bit like that. And then we're going to position this fairly randomly. Oh, the mask. Forgot about that. Okay, hang on a second. How does this normally... See, I don't normally do this in colour. There you go. Okay, good. Right, set it to add sub. Which is actually, if you look at the real one, it's quite like that. So that's cool. It's interesting seeing these extra options though, because like I said, I don't normally use the colour tile sampler. I normally use just the grayscale one. So it is interesting to see what else it can do. But yeah, so we've got one of them for now. We'll keep mixing it up and changing it in a sec, but I'm going to duplicate it. So we've got a variant that we can work with. This variant, I'm going to give it a different random seed, so it's already got the same settings, but it's in different positions right now. Then we'll blend these. I'm going to set this to why did I choose that to add? Actually, max lighting. Yeah, max lighting's interesting because it fills the gaps of the hand. You see, so if somebody did a stencil with their hand, and then if they did that on top of somebody else's stencil, their hand would leave the color of the person's stencil underneath. So max lighting will do that. It'll take the dark section and lighten it up with the color that you've added. So that works pretty well, I think. So as our first test, let's add this onto the rock and see how it looks. Blend node, whack that in there, whack that on there, and then whack this on here. We can set this to copy if we just use a histogram scan on the results of this. Just set to grayscale. So this is the trick I like to use, where you use histogram scan to basically generate a mask. And it's usually fairly accurate, but you can always tweak it if it's not overly accurate. But I quite like doing this. Plus for this kind of thing, I don't think accuracy is that important for it. Well, to be fair, it looks kind of rubbish if you don't do it right, I guess. Yeah, it's not working, is it? Pick a number between 34 and 196. 72. Why? Why are we picking numbers, Jack? What's going on? Why are you making me pick numbers, Jack? I'm curious. Oh, and Charlie as well, apparently. What's going on? I'm scared. My mind has gone completely blank. Oh, you entered a raffle. Okay. $72 is gone. 38. I feel like I'm playing bingo here. Right, this... I've completely lost what I was doing now. Right, so basically I've made my hands from this cave painting stuff. I want to put them on top of the rock. For some reason my mind's gone completely blank as to why I can't do that right now. Oh wait, you ever had just a full-on brain fart and your brain goes, I don't know, mate. It's like when you go to say a word sometimes you just can't for life you remember what that word was. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my background colour to white. Background colour. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Charlie, what's your number for Jack's raffle? He's curious. 87. There you go. Right, let's go and adjust this so that we don't get so much of the black stuff in the background. That looks big and awful. Right, let's fix this. Let's fix this. This is annoying me. Background, where are you? Why am I struggling with this? This is so simple. Yeah, what do you win? I'm curious. Oh yeah, hands. Yeah, I know what you mean. Hands are difficult to draw and stuff, but I mean, what I'm trying to do is just add it to this. For some reason, I've gone completely blank on just adding color information on top. Not good. Not a good feeling. Why have I completely blanked on how to just simply add a layer on top? I mean, FIFA 21, but it's for local food banks in Liverpool. Oh, cool. Well, good luck, and well done for supporting a good cause. LSC supporter group are doing it. Ah, fair enough. Right, 52 minutes left, folks. We're running out of time. I knew something had to happen. It wasn't going to be as simple as it looked. The thing is, it is as simple as it looks. I'm just being simple too. Okay, mate, have fun watching TV. God, that looks bloody terrible. Ugh. Wait a second. Oh, wait, I think... Sorry, folks. I'll talk more in a bit. I'm a bit curious and confused at the moment. My brain, she no good. Yeah, I've completely blanked. This is so stupid. I've got the result I want here. I just want to put that on my stone. That's it. We'll be close to sorted. I've just utterly blanked on what to do about that. Yeah, this is weird. Very weird indeed. I just don't get why I've just entirely blanked on what to do. Ugh. That looks terrible. Okay, alright, you guys didn't come here to see me struggle, so let's just try and move on. I mean, the problem is we can't really move on when there's nothing to move on to or from. But let's go for it anyway. Wait, why is the small ones? What's happening there? What in the hell has happened there? I didn't add small ones. How do they exist? I'm so confused. I definitely didn't add small variants in. Scale. What is going on? There's like miniature ones running around in the middle. Wait, that's back. Okay, this one's got them. Why? Why do you have miniature ones? Pattern input, symmetry random, scale random isn't on, so why are there... Okay, I just feel like that might be broken. I don't... That's completely broke me. Wow. That's not even the problem I was trying to fix. It's just a new problem that's emerged from the deep. Oh wait, why is that plugged into that? Okay, that's why. It's using this as a pattern for some weird reason. Right, you're missing this one. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay, so what we're going to do instead of the way we've got it set at the moment, is I'm going to do them one hand at a time. Ow. I'm going to use a grayscale tile sampler like we were going to. And I'm going to use that to then mask the results of a blend in here. That should work out better then. So I can get rid of that for now. Make a new one that we can use, and then I'm going to create this new tile sampler. So what size was this? 4x4. Okay, tile sampler. Like I said, this time we'll go in grayscale. And I'm not going to have them crossing over like I did before. I'm going to do that in the next step, I think. That'll just help a lot with this blend stuff going on. So we're going to get this. We're going to go like we did before, symmetry random, only on horizontal. Horizontal, there we go. Rotation random, just a little bit. Position random. Quite a bit, but we don't want too much crossover if we can help it. I'm going to mask some of them out as well. Oops. There we go. So now none of them. Wait, one of them still crosses over. Right, we'll leave that for now. So plug this to here, plug this into here, and then give this a uniform colour. And we'll choose the colour that we chose before. So in here, I'm going to get this colour. Whatever this colour is, we can just copy it. Oh, copy, that's handy. I've never seen that copy function before. Go in here and paste. Hey, that is handy. Ow, go back. Okay, so that's one colour sorted. See, adapt, improvise, overcome. We will figure this out. I feel like I just lost 2 viewers whilst I was umming and ahhing. I apologise to anybody who's left. Right, okay, so same again. This time we're going to choose the second batch. Let's just duplicate this. Change a random seed, because I'm happy with what it's doing. I just don't want it to do the same thing every time. But I'm going to change position random on this one. And mask some more of these out. Okay. And this one's going to be the orangey one. So we're going to mask that off with this. Every time I hear that, I think PlayStation 1. Pew, pew. Oh, PS5, it's almost here. I'm so excited I can taste it. You shouldn't taste it though. I've heard it voids the warranty if you do taste your PS5. So just in case you're tempted to lick it, don't. It's bad. Don't do it. It's bad. Right, blending that bad boy in there. We're gonna get our next color set up in preparation for it. Our next colour is this white. There's no platinum white, this is off white. So we're going to go over here and we're going to, well, it's titanium, isn't it? Titanium white. I'm going to paste that. Get that ready for the action. And then we're going to get our third thing. They said you couldn't lick Switch games, but you showed them. That is true. And to be fair, they didn't say you can't, they just secretly made it so it tastes bad. For people like you, like, what if I eat this? Oh, I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy and I want to play my Yakuza game. But we're almost done. We're not far off actually. We're going to be done pretty soon, I think. Right, yeah, I want to change the position of these. Position random. Something like that should be good. Okay, that is going to be our third mask. Come on, there we go. They are. Now the problem is they're kind of bunched up a bit, so let's try and just adjust that, shall we? They're also all exactly the same size because I didn't add any scale random in there, so I'm going to do that now. Give this some more scale random as well. And this one. I wonder, I think I might actually introduce second and third patterns to these and just still try and avoid the overlap. I just think it'll look a bit more interesting, but the problem is with random position and stuff, it might introduce some more overlap to it. But let's just try it anyway, shall we? There's 2. There's 3. Did 3 even appear then? Oh yeah, just replaced 1 for some reason. Alright. Whatever. So let's unmask some of these and then see if we can work something out where they're not all overlapping each other. So that's the number one problem with tile samplers, is the overlap. Okay, that looks okay. I'm happy with that. So let's do the same for these 2 that are left. Oh, let's save as well. It's getting laggy. I'm worried it's getting laggy. It might crash. So let's fix that. So we can delete these 2 now, I think. It's kind of a shame. I liked how they looked. We can move them out of the way for reference, I guess, at least for now. But yeah, so give this back to 3. There we go. And then we want to plug in number 2 again, and then number 3 again. Gonna have some allo V reduce again. It's really nice stuff. I tightened it too much. Okay. Okay, reduce the masking again on this one. And then again, change the position offset some more. Okay, that looks pretty cool. It's looking a bit sparse in places, but we can fix that in a minute. Once we've got this third one in, we can then organise that. Okay, so set this back to 3. And again, rinse repeat. This one in there. This one in there. So we want to get something top right if we can. Let's see, let's change this vertically. It's looking surprisingly sparse. That is all 3 of them, right? Okay, because we want it a bit more intense. So, just for funsies, let's knock the mask random way down. That made next to no difference. Okay, and one more. Okay, they're all in very similar situations, aren't they? Let's just play with the mask. Let's play with the random seed on these to adjust it. Get some variation going on. Okay, now I think actually the scale needs changing as well. So set the scale to 1 on these. Just to fill it up some more. Right, 37 minutes left, folks. Not that long. Sounds like a lot, but it's not. Okay, it's nice to know we got past that brain fart earlier. It just shows, guys, everybody has brain farts. Just accept them and move on. That's what happens. Right, we've got quite a bit of stuff going on here, so I quite like where we're at with it. I feel like it needs a bit more, because if you look at the reference, they're quite intense. It's quite a bit. They're also a bit longer. They kind of combine more as well, but we haven't really done that much. So maybe, should I make like a doubled one? Maybe. No, I don't think I should. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase some of them a little bit. So for example, this one, I'm going to change it to be 6 by 6, and then I'll scale it up. Just so there's more of it. I know I was trying to avoid intersection, but I actually don't mind the intersection so much on this. It's all one colour anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much to me right now. Position random. Something like that works pretty well. And then, yeah, that's a bit better. I'm going to mask some of these out, not many. Why does it always mask out the ones that I don't want masked out? Okay, anyway. So that looks a bit better. So that's what, with 6 and 6. Let's try that with this one. 6. Oh, not 64. That's crazy, boy. Yeah, we're getting somewhere now. What is the obsession with being in the top right? Okay, something like that works. See, in the real ones, they're sort of in clusters, but also not really. So it's kind of frustrating. Also, mine might be a bit too clean in places. We can dirty that up a bit in a sec. Yeah, there's like splats and stuff on theirs as well. Let's go and add some splats to just give this a bit of extra life. Just this uniform colour. And again, I'm going to use black and white spots because that works well for this kind of thing. I'm going to change the seed. I'm going to scale it up though because I want to use just the specks of this. The smaller specks that show up on this histogram scan. Just like that. Because it looks like little paint specks. And I like that. So if we have that dotted around, it kind of adds a little bit of breakup to it, you know. So it's nothing major, but it just definitely adds a little something. And we can adjust that a little bit with the position of this histogram scan. Yeah, that just breathes a bit more life into it. So we're going to do the same for the other colours, I think. Ow. Friggin' knee. I keep clacking my knee. Okay, put that there. We're going to duplicate this bad boy. I'll change a random seed on this so it's not the same overlapping stuff. Oops. Okay, so this should be over here. Okay, cool. That's a good little bit of overlap situation going on. Just It helps spice things up a bit. Yeah, because you think it's not a clean thing that they're doing, is it? It's quite a messy act. I'm also going to dirty up the rock and stuff underneath some more in a minute, but for now, we'll get this in. This will be good. Okay, so I'm trying to work a bit quicker because I'm conscious of the time. I keep doing that. Wrong one. Wrong one. Right, so this one is the brown, I believe. Yes, so we've got speckles there, and speckles there. There we are. Yeah, just a bit of cross-contamination. I think that's what it was missing. That's good. I like that now. I'd like some more hands to be like over here, but I kind of like that it's got areas of rest. It's a bit busier in the middle. So that's good. We'll stick with that. Save so we don't mess up, and then I'm going to dirty up the rock a bit more, and then we should be good to go. I want to adjust the roughness a little bit, but not much. I want to do some stuff in these crevices as well. Fix that up. Okay, there's that one. Moved over that one. Moved over that one. It's always good to keep things clean as you go, isn't it? Save. Okay, so now we've cleaned up that. Let's go. We can get rid of these now. Put these down where they belong down here. Get rid of you and you and you. And then I'm going to move this out of the way a bit so we can work on it some more. Because we've got the base colour fed by this black and white noise, which is fine. I like that colour. But I want to get some more dirt and stuff going on. Some more grime. And I don't mean like Stormzy, I mean like dirt. It's also got this kind of speckled, like, not granite, what's it called? I like this. These black specks that are in it. Let's add some of that. Let's try and moisture noise. If I grab a histogram scan of moisture noise, that might have some interesting shapes to it. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. There's not many of them though, so let's get a seed where there's more. Still not much. Okay, if I make this a different scale, then I can multiply it. Actually, that looks pretty cool. Let's go with that. And then I want the colour of those little chunky segments that are in it. So I'm going to go grab that now from the image. It's not far off the brown, so hopefully it doesn't just blend in. That's pretty cool. I want it to be more solid, so I'm going to increase the contrast on this. Something like that should do. It just adds a bit more interest to it. It's not exactly what I was going for. In fact, I might adjust this. I might not use moisture noise because it's a bit soft. It's a bit bitty. I want something more solid. So if I go for a... I don't want to use the cells because cells is too solid. Oh, actually, no, I can use the cells and I can warp it. So cells is this, it's really cool shapes. Plug that in. I'm going to get like specifics. Actually, it's very close to what I want. I just want less of it. That's great, actually. That's almost exactly what I wanted. Just right out the gate. Sweet. Okay, well, in that case, I'll get that and I'll feed that into the height as well. So let's got this down here. So what's this? This is the main background. This is the crevicey bits. So let's put the rocks I've just added into this. Set to max lighten. Obviously it's too strong right now. This is going to make like really big points stick out like that. So we need to get our levels on this just to control the height of it, because they're just bright white. So we reduce that right down. I think that's what this was missing, some actual like texture, just to break everything up a bit. So things are still painted on top of it, it's just it's got a bit more life to it now. I like that. Right. Let's just quickly do a test. I'm just testing something, don't mind me. Parallel noise on that. Make the scale on that crazy. Set this to minimum. Funky tunes. I'm surrounded by funky tunes. Right, let's try that. I'll give it more like stone-like shapes. Pretty cool, right? I just want to make sure that that's not too gradiented. Is that even a word? Yeah, I want to tighten that up so it's not. It hasn't got a gradient for the mask, because you don't really want a gradient on a mask. It gives it a soft edge, and that's not what we want right now. See, like stuff like that just looks unnatural because a rock wouldn't just blend in like that. Whereas it would just sort of cut off. That's a bit better. Also, I don't want them to have the same texture as the other thing. So where we've got the small texture added here, I'm going to take these rocks out of that. So to do that, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to blend, put that there, no, put it there, there we go. And then I'm going to subtract the rocks from it by going to here. Actually, I'm going to go here and get this mask. And subtract it. There you go. Now they won't affect this. Actually, instead of that, I'm going to leave that where it was. I'm going to add this as the mask instead. That way this grainy bit won't affect where that is. See? So without the mask, with the mask. See it there actually. Okay, starting to get somewhere. So I will give them their own noise, just not the same as the last one. Right, 23 minutes. Okay, that's fine. We can do 23 minutes. I'm just going to go back to the noise over here, where I added the original stones. And we're going to connect them here, and we're going to give this a... What we're going to use, folks, what we're going to use... cells, no. Let's use a... What's it called? Dirt? Let's use a dirt 4. Let's give it a bit of fanciness. Just a little something something, you know, nothing too fantastic. Just a bit of shape. So that's more than just the smoothness that it was. Doing a ding dang thing. Okay, we've got to crush the greys a little bit to get the shape to come up, but it's working now. God, that looks bloody awful. Alright, forget that. Min darken. Right, we're going to control where these levels are. Right, and then after that, we're going to add the noise. So it should just give us a little subtlety now, rather than just ruining everything. See, just gets a little bit of shape in there. Okay, that looks okay. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. So yeah, I want to add some more. I'm going to add a couple of cheeky clouds. Not clouds. A couple of clouds in the background of this, just to give it some variation, to mix it up a little bit. It's usually a good way of getting some more interest into a base colour. So I've got a blend in there. I'm going to grab, actually I'm going to grab HSL, hue, saturation, lightness. I'm going to darken this down a little bit, desaturate it a bit, plug it in there, and then I can use clouds, clouds 1 as a mask. And see, already it just gives a little bit of extra interest. It washes it out a little bit, but you can always use like a levels or a histogram scan just to tweak it a bit. So I move my middle point around. I got like stronger results. If you pinch them together, you can get like really contrasted stuff, but you don't really want to do that too much because it gets a bit obvious. But for things like rock and stuff, it's fine, I think. Because that looks pretty cool compared to that. So I might actually invert them though, because I don't like how dark that made it. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so there's one more layer. Let's add a fractal sum, I think. Fractal sum 4. This one's a bit strong, but let's just put it in and see what happens. HSL again, put that in there, and then we're going to set this one to be slightly lighter. Only slightly. Saturation down. The idea here is for subtle variation. So see the difference between them two is minimal. That's what we want to keep it as. And yeah, then we plug the fractal sum in. See, that it just gives a bit of extra spice to it. Yeah, I like that. Again, that's actually washed it out quite a bit though. Yeah, invert them. I could invert the mask, I'm just being lazy. Okay, and then now I'm going to add something quite dark and contrasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get a solid colour. Something like this. And then I'm going to get a fractal sun base. Make it quite sort of grainy. I'm going to use that. And then if I use a histogram scan to tighten that up a bit, that should help to really add some smaller little frequencies to it. See, something like that, just granular bits. That just adds a bit more to it than just being that. This seems quite plain now. When you add some granularity to it, it just makes it pop that little bit, you know? Okay, so how are we looking all the way through? See, that granularity barely matters now. But still nice to have it. Okay, and the last things we're going to do, work on some roughness stuff. So the roughness is just roughness at the moment. It's not a good example of it, but actually grab this. No, you know what? I'm going to be really cheap and cheaty here, but we've only got 15 minutes left, so we might as well. Just for now. Let's make this fairly rough. I'm going to use a fractal sunbase again. I like fractal sunbase. It's quite a flexible, versatile little node. Ow. Right, that's cool. I want more variation in the base color of the rock. What I've just done with the darker color with the fractal sunbase, I want to do that with the white as well. So let's do that. I'm going to use an HSL. Actually, I'm going to use just white. Not like jet white, but that. Put it there, and then I'm going to get this same setup, but I'm going to use a random seed and change it. So that them two are not the same anymore. And I'm actually going to increase the contrast on this so it stands out more. Something like that. Okay, we're starting to get something coming through now. Might do that for this one actually, and change the contrast on it. So I'm at the point now where I'm just in the final sort of stages. I know we've not got much time left. I'm just sort of tweaking, just quietly to myself. Sorry if it gets a bit dull at this part. It's just this is the big thoughts time, you know, when your brain gets tired. When my brain gets tired, my talkie gets less. Quite like that. Oh. Sometimes I like to really push things too far just so I can see what it was doing. And I don't like how soft that fractal is, so I'm going to actually get this fractal sunbase again. But this time I'm going to make it a bit globular. Okay, that looks... It's a bit better now, I think. Let's just knock this down a bit though, because this is too strong. this needs going into a histogram scan as well because it's too much grey going on. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. And now we're talking. That's more the kind of thing I had in mind. Yeah, that's much better. Cool. In the dying moments, last 10 minutes. Okay, so something I noticed whilst going along as well is I don't like how many of those sort of black specks are in it. You know, the stony pieces. So I want to reduce that. I'm just going to quickly save a second. Get a quick sip of juice before I melt. Man, these things don't off-seal, don't they? Good. Look how red my hand is, just trying to open my own bottle. Okay, so where's the flecks gone? They're the paint flecks, I like them. Okay, the stone flecks here. So yeah, I want less of these. I feel like there's too many at the moment. So this cells that I created, I actually want less of them. So to do that, I'm going to use my histogram scan again. Increase the contrast. Reduce the position even more so. I'm actually going to mask some of these out as well. Probably with this moisture noise, actually, it's a good spot for it. Blend. Put you in there. Put you there. Subtract. No, actually, it's a rubbish one for it. What am I about? Perlin noise would be good for this, I think. Okay, you know that looks fine. Oh, I didn't do anything with these crevicey bits today. That's what I wanted to go back and change. I remember now. Where did I create that? Was that here? Yeah. Okay, yeah, so this is way too strong. I know it's at really ridiculously small numbers. They really need to fix that with the slope blur. Like, you gotta go into stupid numbers. Okay, that's much better. And then, can we get the results of that? No. Alright, so we've got an ambient occlusion node here, right, which adds shadow into the spaces that are there. So we've got a normal as well. We can sometimes use the normal to kind of highlight parts of the rock. So I might actually do that. If I grab the normal, if I split the colour off from this, it should help. Where has that just made that? Okay, I don't know where it just made an RGB split, but let's ignore that, shall we? RGB split. Okay, so I want to plug that into here. I just want the G information, which is the height. Then I can go into what's it called? Curvature smooth. Actually, curvature. Wait, I'm getting confused now. Oh, I'm getting sleepy, folks. Can you tell? Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll just grab the G from here like I was going to. And I figured it's going really slow. It's going really, really slow. It's annoying me. If we get a histogram scan, I use this node so much. And then we can just pick out the top parts like that. Then if we get that and we go back to where the stone is, which is over here. Let's move these over a second. Okay. Plug that in there. Use this as a mask, and then we can get a uniform colour. Actually, I'm just going to get an HSL again. Lighten it quite a bit because we want this to be quite bright. This is too bright, but this will give us an example of what it's doing. See, it just sort of highlights edges of stuff. If we apply that now, you'll see it on edges of things. It just looks cool. It adds to it. It's sort of grounds things a bit better. I like that. I like that look. Now this is actually the bottom bits. But no, I think it looks pretty cool. So I think, folks, I think we can probably call it there, to be honest. I'm quite happy with the results of that. It's not perfect, but it was fun, and that's what matters. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon it looks okay? There we go. Yeah, I reckon it turned out alright for a couple of hours work. It's not perfect, but what is? So yes, that's that. Looks super good. Thank you very much. Right, so I am gonna leave it there then. So let's go back to just chat and screen. So that means that today we've done prehistoric, which means boom, we can add ourselves a little ticky boo. Little ticky boo. There it is. Tickety boo. So that's all for me, folks. Thank you so much for watching again tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back with Ancient. Ooh, what's Ancient gonna be? I have no idea. I've no idea. I'll think about it tomorrow. So thanks a lot for watching, folks, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye now.